Yesterday, we saw a slew of new champions make their spring debut as teams continue to battle it out, with Team Liquid still sitting at the top of the table. Here you see some of those squads making their way into the studio just moments ago. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LCS Countdown, where for 30 minutes we follow the trends of the league, check in on the studs and duds in the LCS stock market, and unveil the latest in league analysis technology that may just put these yahoos out of a job. I'm Dash, and for at least one more day, I'm joined by Hi, Kobe, and Mark Z. How you three gentlemen doing today?
I'm curious about this throwing us out of a job.
Yeah, the technology.
We need this. Slipped in there.
We kind of need this,
Yeah,
don't we?
I'm curious, too, to see how you guys stack up against this new tech we've got working behind the scenes. There were plenty of hero moments in yesterday's games, but one player drove the pain train straight into the enemy team just to say, I'm helping, presented by State Farm.
In his game against the Golden Guardians, Impact managed to turn a fight around by choosing to take a team fight. Let's take a look.
As Core JJ is now in a bad spot once more. Contract's trying to go over the wall. Will be interrupted by the pulverize. Good job there, but the ward is going to make sure that
Kiting out.
Your gut's faster, your gut's faster.
I will. Even they're in fast. Income. I'm going.
Don't flash.
I'm going behind, guys. I'm going behind. I'm going behind. I'm curious. Ash no flash. Chase.
Ash no flash. I can stun if I can get range. Yeah, he's dead.
We get Madam.
The funny thing was you could hear Impact say, like, I'm starting my ult, I'm coming, and he was like 5 seconds away on the other side of mid lane, coming up through like the blue buff area and had to ult straight across.
That's when he got on the train, started his ultimate.
I kind of hoped he would have just been like, choo-choo, to let his team know that he's coming in for the engage. That would have been much cleaner comms.
They know now to do it. They heard us do it, so like next time I'm gonna be like choo-choo when I play Sion.
All right, well, with the help of that play, Team Liquid did keep their Sterling record intact, sitting with 7 wins. C9 are just 2 games back, and hot on their heels are CLG and FlyQuest in third. Then at the bottom of the table, we got a 3-way tie with Clutch, Golden Guardians, and Optic. I want to focus in on the crowded field teams, though, in the middle of the pack. Looking at those standings, who do you think would pull away from this pack and maybe claim a top spot in coming weeks?
The one that really jumps out to me, I think, is FlyQuest. I would say that they have the second best teamwork in the entire league. I think Team Liquid's obviously #1. Then it's really close between them and C9, most likely, as the second best teamwork team in the league. I think there are some teams with maybe more individual skill, but like right now, that really doesn't matter.
It really feels to me like they're doing a lot of planning coming in as well. Really well thought out game plans for what they want to do from draft to executing on the Rift.
Right, and they want to be the superstars anyway, right? They're looking to make that star power and be like, hey, I'm the carrier of the team now, no longer Bjergsen or whoever carried them before.
All right, well, Mark's called out FlyQuest. Kobe, who are you looking at?
Counter Logic Gaming, honestly. I think they've snuck up on people because it was kind of a slow start, and they strung together a bunch of wins in some longer games, but they've been so methodical, and just yesterday, Power of Evil is finally starting to take over. He absolutely popped off on the Kassadin. They have huge potential for carry performances from him, as well as Stick Safe from the bottom side, while also recognizing, hey, we're gonna have Darshan on his tank duty. That is the way that we are going to win these games. So they focus on picking that Sion for him, frontline, or Urgot, something like that to fill in, and they know their formula, basically.
Mark, I know you still have some questions around the tank top for CLG, the success they might have if he gets forced off of things like Sion.
Right, because we saw the Ornn the one time he played into Aatrox, kind of got destroyed, but...
The other half of the team kept...
I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that was a team loss. I'm just saying that they haven't won on anything that's not Sion or Urgot yet. The nice thing is, with the Sion nerfs that came in, it feels like teams are starting to leave it up more, because even though it's still the best tank in the top lane, it's not as overpowered.
Right, so just might have more opportunity to play it now that it is nerfed. With which team, I'm coming to you next, which team is in danger of being left behind here?
Well, honestly, you look at a team like TSM, and they're currently in 5th or 6th right now, right? They're kind of slacking in the pack, and you're concerned about them. They have really star players, 3-time MVP, Bjergsen in the middle lane, but they're not showing up to it right now, right? So it seems like they're about to fall behind as they're trying out their limits and seeing what plays they can make as a team, trying out their Barons, all the Dragons, and while they're figuring that out, they're kind of falling a bit behind, and hopefully they'll pick up together, like learn how to play the mid-game, like learn how to play the game, and get the wins that they deserve.
Yeah, I really do think it's been kind of sloppy from them, right? We've had 2 Rift Herald eyeballs not picked up from them after they killed it. Plus the mid-game stuff you're talking about where they just allocate people to lanes that don't make a lot of sense at the time and then take a fight with split people.
Yeah, and they say like, oh, well, we're focused on the early game. And like, maybe that excuse would make sense if they were failing more in the early game, but they're actually doing fine. And then like mid-game comes around and it's like, well, you not turning off a Baron cleanly is not like you experimenting more in the early game than other teams. That's you having a bad call.
They are being proactive,
They're
though.
proactive.
They're learning.
It's just that they're failing on some.
And they know
And
the
they're going to
problems.
crush us peasants.
Yeah. Making a change. Just,
They won yesterday.
Not
Yeah, they did.
successful in all of their moves. They do currently sit tied for 5th at 3 wins. So, of course, not outside of the playoff picture as of just yet. We'll see if any of these teams can make moves today, starting with our first game, Echo Fox versus 100 Thieves, followed by Counterlogic Gaming loading up against Golden Guardians, and then Game 3 pits Team Liquid versus TSM. And stick around for LCS Cooldown, where Huni and DeMonte compete for the title of Best Yasuo NA. Ooh, that's going to be an exciting one. Now, for a closer look at the first matchup, let's check in with the casters who will be bringing you the call, Freak and Azael.
Thank you very much, Dash. Hello, and let's talk about this bottom lane between these two teams, Aphromoo and Bang from 100 Thieves. They seem to be one of the biggest contributors to their wins, and with a world champion like Bang, 2 titles to himself, feels like they're ready to go.
Yeah, and it feels like these guys are ramping up as a duo. Even in their losses, they have been looking fairly strong, have been fairly dominant in the wins. Yesterday, despite a loss, really were doing well in the bottom lane with Ashe also. And, you know, on the other side of the table, they are going up against, you know, another team they have with Apollo and Hawko here, who have been stepping up pretty big for the team. They have been someone that I think people were expecting less of, but have been very successful. And in their wins, they have been really big difference makers. For me, this brings up the question of, should these teams be playing more around the bottom lane? Should they be focusing on getting these guys ahead? When you look at 100 Thieves, they have been focused much more on the top lane, on getting someday ahead. You see Rush playing around mid lane, around top lane more often than he is around bot as well. And these guys have been so good for their squad. So I am interested to see if that is going to bring in any adaptations from the two squads and how they're going to play around each other here.
Yeah, it is definitely interesting. I think there are some differences across the board here when you've got like low damage share from Apollo when there's a pair of Karthus games from the junglers. So like some of those stats can be misleading just based on play overall. But certainly incredible players, all 4 of them in this lane. Aphromoo shared his thoughts of the matchup, and well, leave it to a support to talk about just the support.
You're playing against Rush and Hakuho, who also plays unconventional stuff. That's pretty annoying. And then, yeah, when he's on Thresh, this guy's probably one of the best Thresh in the league, most likely, after me. But he always lands his hooks no matter what. So that's a little scary. So that's why those guys are annoying. Maybe think about a Thresh ban. We'll see. We don't want Haku Yes out there next week, so.
Some thoughts from Aphromoo on the bot lane matchup. Mark, coming back to you because I know you consider Echo Fox's bot lane to at least be the best part of that squad, while they are struggling quite significantly as a team.
Number 1 in CSD in the league for bot laners for Apollo there, and you saw what happened yesterday when they actually kind of got crushed in laning phase. The entire team just had nothing to do the rest of the game. They kind of just slowly sat there and watched C9 win. So if they're not having a good game, I don't know who else you fall back on in this lineup right now.
I mean, so how do you compare them to Aphromoo and Bang in the laning phase? We've seen Bang, you know, show a little bit of his stuff when it comes to the team fighting phases and whatnot, but do you feel like this is the bot lane to punish Apollo and Hako?
I feel like for the lane phase, at least, because, you know, there have definitely been some mistakes from the 100 Thieves sides for lane phase for their bottom lane. So that is an area where, especially Hakuho, people always look. Aphromoo even mentioned himself, the playmaking like Thresh and those types of supports can come through, especially if they have Rush focuses ganks around that area, which everybody's doing since Dragon gives so many rewards.
Well, I think something important to note is I haven't really seen Bang get crushed in lane. Like him and Afro haven't really gotten crushed in lane. And to be fair, they haven't really crushed the enemy lane either. But they almost always go even or slightly ahead in CS. So I'm not sure there's going to be a big discrepancy in the side of Apollo for this game. And we saw that they faltered yesterday actually and lost to Sneaky. So it'll be interesting to see if they'll be able to hold their toe against Bang today.
Can they snap back after that loss yesterday? We're going to step away. When we come back in just 2.5, we're going to take a look at 9.3 and how it's affecting the game, as well as check in on the LCS stock market. Don't go anywhere, or do. Just be quick about it. Welcome back to LCS Countdown. Yesterday, we took a deep dive into some of the itemization changes that could shake up the scene. Today, I want to take a look at the champions. Yesterday, there were 11 new champions that made their spring split debut to varying degrees of success, of course. But this largely comes as a result of a fair amount of nerfs to some of the more popular champions in prior weeks.
Right. When the meta has a lot of OP picks like Akali, Aatrox, Irelia, those kind of things, and they get nerfed, it allows the opportunity for people to pick their comfortable picks back up. So that's why you see things like Anivia or even Kassadin or Riven. When champions aren't as strong, you can pick the champions you're comfortable at.
And a large part of that as well is no one knows what the new meta should be, I think, right now. Everyone kind of defaults to comfort, but I do expect some things will start showing up a little bit more in priority, especially with the fact that it still feels like games go pretty late. There's all these crit changes that should be pushing later game marksman higher in the priority list. So I think you will see more of a tendency towards things like the Kassadin, Karthus, and Anivia, these things that tend to scale up a little bit better.
I mean, I'm thoroughly enjoying the fact that it's more wide open now. You know, when balance gets closer, champion mastery means more, and we get to have these super cool moments like the Riven pick being pulled out. Viper's like, this is the perfect situation, you know, and then he actually is able to display that later on in the game. You know, this solo queue pick, 2v1 in the back line and stuff like that. You know, we've also had high moments for all these other main champion picks that people come to know and associate with a certain player. I think those are some of the coolest moments. Like Huhi's Aurelion Sol at international events has always been.
Not yesterday.
I mean, yeah,
not yesterday.
Good games always.
But in a singular day, right? We got the Anivia, we got the Aurelion Sol, the Riven, and more. So love to see
11 in one day.
11 in one day picks and bans.
Someone pick Zed.
I'm curious, what's going to be, someone pick Zach. What would be the next one to come out? Is there a player that has a signature champion that we haven't seen yet?
I'm trying to think of who would be the best, like, one trick to bust something.
Would it be Broken Blade?
I mean,
I guess we haven't
Riven too.
We haven't seen Aurelia since these changes.
Yeah. It's not as cool. I'm more on high side here, where Europe got a Zed pick.
I'm jealous
insane.
Yeah,
that is pretty
cool.
He got the first blood. He got the solo kill.
To be
Like,
fair, his jungler camped his lane for him too.
All right, hi.
You know,
Outside of you, who's the best Zed in the LCS?
No one plays Zed.
No one?
No one
None of
plays
them
Zed.
can play it?
All right, fine.
Then we don't want to see it.
Jensen pick Zed for me. You're
There
9,
it
but
is.
you're 8-0.
There you go.
Right?
You can throw a game.
He can play
My
Zed.
terrible, thank you.
If Double can play Vlad, you can play Zed. It's fine.
Double can't play Blast.
Yes, that we learned. All right, well, the LCS stock market can be a tumultuous system. One day you're up, the next day you're down. So ahead of our next buy-in period, we wanted to check in on how a few of the teams were doing. So we're going to take a look at some of our biggest winners and losers. Of course, we'll start with Team Liquid, the biggest winner.
yeah, I wonder who the biggest winner is. It's the team that won all the games.
Yes,
And everyone
I do.
says buy low, sell high. Team Liquid was the most expensive team, but if you had bought them, I'm pretty sure they're the biggest gains over the course of the entire market as well. So that whole buy low, sell high thing, if something is a guaranteed return, just take that thing as well. And so obviously Team Liquid, biggest earner for anyone who would have bought them. And I think that really speaks to how good they are. And is it too late now that they're at 700 value, or are they going to keep going up? Because we don't know when they're going to lose.
Yeah, the only problem is like the 1 week, if you're holding the stock when they lose,
Oh, man.
and especially if it's a low LO team, like if they lose to Golden Guardians, if they had lost yesterday to them,
Well, thankfully they won.
that would be a lot of cash that High would lost.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have a stock in Golden Guardians, actually, and my opinion on them is that they're a bit of a dark horse, right? I don't believe they're going to be at the bottom, and I believe that they'll keep climbing up. I'm the only one that still has one stock in them. I have faith in my friends, and I believe they're going to climb up and make me some fat money.
And I think it's an interesting position in the league right now where a lot of teams feel like they're starting to falter a little bit. Like Clutch started a little hot, they're faltering. Echo Fox, we're all kind of tepid on and expecting them to not do super well.
TSM looks vulnerable.
TSM looks vulnerable. So I think Golden Guardians are a team that, like, right now has the opportunity to rise very quickly if they start rolling off some wins.
And by virtue of being the lowest priced stock at the moment, you can get some solid gains
Make
there.
me
Let's
rich.
talk about one of those inconsistent teams in Echo Fox. They took another loss yesterday.
It's Sunday.
Yeah, but it's Sunday. So what's the forecast on that stock price, huh?
I mean, I'm not a superstitious man. But even me, I had a very hard time debating whether I should predict Echo Fox today because they have stayed true to Rush's, theory of I can only win one, lose one every single LCS week. He's never gone 0-2.
And the problem is the market is only open once every 2 weeks, so you can't try and play the everyday buy on Sunday sell at the end of Sunday. It's a 2-week period, so that you actually haven't gained or lost anything realistically.
They've actually their price has slightly increased.
Slightly.
Didn't you look into it, Mark? And EchoFox, not EchoFox, but Rush specifically, 15 times has lost on Saturday and won on Sunday in his LCS career.
Of the 15 times he's lost on Saturday, every single time he's lost on won on Sunday. So he's never.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's absolutely insane, the probability of that. Of course, TSM was our last team on that graph. We have seen that they've slightly down-ticked, and I think that kind of plays into this idea of the expectation versus reality, or at least where they are right now. And so, an inconsistent stock price as of yet, but do we have confidence at their current current pricing that, hey, they'll end the season higher?
Well, I would say right now they're playing Team Liquid today, so if you're gonna imagine it's gonna go up today, I'd bet against that. So maybe next week, that's when the forecast starts going up. But for today, I'm not gonna assume the forecast.
Well, the good news is next week is when you get to rebuy and redo your portfolios. That's a quick look at just a few of the stocks we're tracking this week. We're going to step away for a quick break. When we return, we unveil the newest bit of electronic gee-whizzery. Stay with us.
Oh, you fans.
Welcome back to LCS Countdown. This year, our StatSpot has gotten a lot of attention for its predictive powers, but our engineering team wanted to see if we could take StatSpot to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to unveil that tool here and now.
Hello Dash, hi, Mark, and Kobe. I am the Judgmental Automated Telemetry Testing Unit.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know about the judgmental part, though. That has to be
The Jot Stats protocol has been initiated.
I'm sorry, the what?
Prepare for question 1.
No. Jat's not on the show anymore. We don't do. It was just we don't do Jat stats. That was a whole.
Are you ready for question 1?
No, we just.
I'm
Here is
ready.
question 1.
I kind of like Jat stats.
There are many players who have played multiple roles in the LCS. Among those players, who has the most total games played in LCS all time?
Would it
You
not be
have 45 seconds to answer.
But if
we have 45 seconds. First of all, we're on a.
Did Wild Turtle ever play another role in LCS? Because I know he's played other roles. No.
Wait, is this a current player? Because High's played a number of roles, and you've played a lot of games.
It just says who's played the most total games. Isn't that just
who have also played multiple
games? Mark, hurry up!
They have to have played multiple roles, and then they've also played the most games.
Yeah, I'm just going with high.
Of people who have played multiple roles. So I think it's high.
Yeah. Say something else,
quick. I'm gonna go with.
What do you got?
High. I'll go high, yeah.
You take that.
Sure, why not?
Jump on the
I'll be a sheep. I'm following the crowd.
Yeah.
All right.
Unanimous?
That's us. We're
That
all in it
answer is
together.
incorrect, inaccurate, and wrong.
What?
I will note in my logs that the term
way.
analyst is a term of endearment instead of a title. The correct answer is the player
He didn't choose to do that. They had a substitute, and then they moved because what's his name was gone.
Apparently, yeah, because he had to play with Joey to support that one time.
That's
rude.
That's a Jack question.
That is a Jack
Here comes
question.
question 2.
There's another one?
There are a number of pocket picks being played, including Power of Evil, who has played his signature Orianna twice so far. Which player has the most Orianna games played in the LCS all time?
This is
most Orianna
because Bjergsen has played a lot of it.
He's just been around for forever.
Huhi hasn't been around as long, but he's played a lot of Orianna in his time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who are like
Jensen's also played a ton of Orianna. He's just.
But he also, you just need the longest standing mid laner because Ori's played.
Well, why don't we who wants
All right, we're just gonna go.
I'm Jensen.
I'll go the other way. I'll go Bjergsen with you. Just so you can go Jensen too then. Or
you can be a third
we're both Jensen and you're both Bjergsen?
Yeah, we'll split.
All right, I'm into it.
Split
Let's go.
We might be
There it
all
is.
wrong. Are we all wrong?
Probably
Incorrect.
All of us?
This is my fault. I expected too much from you.
You played 40.
Adjusting difficulty setting to noob.
What do you want from me, man?
By the way, the answer was next to you the entire
Question
time.
one answer to this question?
The answer is high.
Yes. Yeah, he's insulting us. He said that the answer is sitting next to us and we're stupid.
Oh, well, you know what? He was
I'm not
sitting
sitting
next to us for
next
the
to
first
myself.
question, and that wasn't the answer, so your logic is invalid.
Watching James argue with a robot is amazing.
You know, these jazz stats are kind of tricky.
Is it
I don't
done?
like them.
Commencing question 3.
Oh my goodness, there's a third
Only
one?
15 towers have been taken against Team Liquid. Which lane's outer turret has been taken the least? Begin discussing.
I know. It's top lane.
No way, mid lane.
Top lane.
Really?
You're so confident you're making me want to go with you.
lane?
I don't actually know, but I'm gonna go.
This is for all the teams?
I'm gonna go. No. Team Liquid. Team Liquid. I'm gonna go with top lane.
I actually think it's a trap question because you want to say double is the strong point in the map, but I think a lot of the times they lose their turret because people just kind of like swap.
Are you sure this is only for Team Liquid?
I'm pretty sure.
Team Liquid has only lost 15 turrets. Which of those lanes outer turret has been taken the lead?
I choose mid lane.
It's either mid or top. It's definitely not bot.
I'm going mid.
I'll go mid.
Okay, I'm gonna go top just to split.
At least one of you has been paying attention. The correct answer is top lane.
Woo!
At least one. This robot.
Hey, you know what? The judgmental, I don't know the whole name. The judgmental autonomous telemetry something or whatever is not so bad.
Oh yeah?
J.A.T.T.
I'm liking
has
this.
concluded.
Great.
I hope you have found this interaction pleasant and fulfilling. You may resume your electronic sports variety program now.
Like, thanks for giving us permission to do our own show.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I feel like we should have gotten those questions right. I don't feel like
I thought we were done with J.A.T.T.
I didn't want to answer high again because if we got
we
it
did it the
wrong
first
with the
time.
first
We looked
question,
looked
so
even
we
worse.
made it ourselves.
You also played in an assassin meta, so I didn't think you.
I mean, I knew Oriana's my most played champion. Like, I knew that myself. I didn't think I had the most played.
A lot of mid
Hey,
laners.
I didn't appreciate how condescending that
To be fair, they got that part kind of right. So J.A.T.T. always talked down to us when we got things
That
wrong.
is true. He did do that. He did do that. But at least he was face to face. I think that's part of it. I felt like I could fight back.
He's right over there.
Fight back. It's true.
You can go beat him up right there.
Smash the hell out of him.
Take a quick second.
All right, prediction time. Let's take a look at you guys voted on for today's victories. In game one, High is sticking with
Oh, baby.
High's on drugs. Prophecy.
Whoa,
The 1-1
here.
weekend prophecy will be fulfilled, according to him, and then a Golden Guardians call over Counterlogic Gaming. So let's talk about those first two games of the day.
Well, I kind of touched on it before the previous break, where Rush is 15 times he has lost on Saturday, and then every time he's lost on Saturday, he's won. It's 15 times it's happened. 1 over 15 squared. It's insane.
Right.
2 to the 15th.
And you're betting against it.
I'm betting against that ridiculously low percentage chance if it holds true.
All right, fair enough. But once again, we're going to test your predictive powers with our weekly wager. And today, we're taking the kid gloves off. So let's start by finding out what game you're playing for.
I liked the one last.
Here we go. What's it gonna be?
It's gotta be one on the first two.
Yeah.
Boom! 100.
Oh, it all is on Rush.
You guys are losing today.
Echo Fox, High versus the rest of the desk. Last week, there was some criticism that the helium balloons was more of a reward than a punishment for our analysts. So this week, the devious minds that work on the show concocted the most twisted diabolical punishment you've ever heard of. That's how difficult it is to say. First, I want to state that people watching at home should not, I repeat, should not attempt this at home. You get your prediction wrong, you will be handcuffed to Freak for 24 hours.
Joel looks
Joel's
like
face says it all.
He looked like he was gonna punch him.
He only has 2 hands. How do you get handcuffed 3 people to him?
I think Freak will be in the middle of.
Yeah, he'll be in the middle.
Wrong.
And
then if you're wrong, it's just you with him.
For 24 hours.
Yeah, that or you'll have to.
There's actually no way.
Kobe's coming. Kobe.
How do we get him to agree to
This is a ridiculous punishment. I'm not being handcuffed to Freak for 24 hours.
You're coming to my house. If we're wrong, you're coming over. Freak's coming over, playing a D&D.
There's no goddamn way I'm sleeping with Freak. 24 hours. You know how long that is?
Wait, you skipped out on the hot sauce already. You don't get to skip on this one
That's
too if you're
true.
wrong.
Well,
You're in this one.
I need video proof that you stayed handcuffed to Freak for 24 hours if you lose this.
All right,
And then you have to return to the same.
All right, well, we
Live
have to get to
stream.
win
This
conditions.
IRL streaming.
Kobe, if you don't want to be handcuffed to Freak, tell me how 100 Thieves comes away with the victory in game one, because that's how it happens.
Well, you better camp for someday early then. Get on that because he's the big carry for the laning phase. And since Rush has been so bad at smiting, don't be afraid to 50-50 those late game objectives. He misses it all the time.
All right, and High, how are you going to avoid being handcuffed to Freak for a day?
There's no way this is a real
All you have to think about it is today is Sunday, and that's it. What do you got?
What did you just say?
You can't win.
You said it's Sunday.
Today is Sunday.
See, High doesn't seem
That was
worried,
my win
Kobe.
condition.
Yeah, they
I'm not
lost on
concerned.
Saturday. He's 15-0 on Sunday then.
It's confirmed by stats and the history. He cannot lose today.
I hope you're wrong. For my sake, I hope you're wrong.
I am going to be right.
Here, okay, so let me ask you this. Imagining a world where you are handcuffed to Freak for 24 hours.
No!
Like, how would you go about it? Like,
I told you.
How do you make that a palatable 24 hours?
I think we don't shower during that time.
There's no way.
That's a given. You
No shower.
Yeah. But I would say I would want to just do a D&D session. Just get all the friends over 24-hour D&D session, so at least it's like fun and productive.
Right, okay.
Wait, just play games all day, dude.
You're going over to Freak's house to sleep?
I don't care, whatever. It's fine.
Okay.
Maybe if we have them in the middle, we can just like try and pull the chains apart between the two of us.
Well, it sounds a lot worse for you guys, because you guys are 3 best friends.
then
You're stuck with Mark, too, technically.
I know,
You're not just stuck with Freak. You're stuck with Mark, too. There's 3 of you guys.
All right, well, the teams are ready to load up into Champion Select, so we're going to toss it out to Freak and Azael for the call.